I'm back. So hopefully this is working. Are you watching, Jane Jane? Yeah, it's going now. Okay, I'll bypass the photos. I'll put them on after the tracker. Sometimes this system has a glitch, and it's not my computer, it's not the internet, it's the software program. Everything was right then. I had all the right screens, pressed all the right buttons, and it's completely ballsed up. So now if I go straight into the tracker, there's no one there, but I'm sure people will come on in a minute. So apparently you just had the photo and no map, but you're listening to a fantastic audio. And I hate saying it all again the second time, but I will. So you can come and look at the pictures, but everyone's probably buggered off now. Anyway, that happens. So I'm going to go straight into the tracker and do a quick overview. There we are. There, you're on the tracker now, and I'm on the tracker. So hopefully this is running smoothly. And we'll pick this up. I'll quickly go through the numbers. You probably saw here what's happening. Okay, so we'll go straight in. For those that heard the audio there, the backstories, I'll leave that until the bits, but Kerry's got lack of power, so can't see his Starlink to get the weather forecast and currents. Peeler's down there catching up to the fleet. I'll just push that up a bit more so we can see the size here. Again, Peeler 4.4, 107, so she's tail ender but catching up. Then it's Josh 4.4, 100, not too bad. Then it's probably Kerry. Kerry's third to last at the moment. 4.3, 92 mile day. Eric 4.3, 95. Then it'd be Adam 4.3, 94. Then it's probably Jasmine, 4 knots and 94. Christian, 3.8, 95. Then it's Entrant, still there, 4.5, 95. And Jacob, 4.5, 101. And then Daniel following up behind Renault, 5.2, 108. And then Renault up the front, fastest, the best 24-hour run of the whole fleet, 112. So the wind's definitely softened off and doing 5.4. There's less wind in the south down here than there is on the north. So if you want to get the snippets on that, have a peek at the previous edition of this same morning's update where it was getting interesting. We were looking at the overall weather going forward. So in 24 hours, if you follow my cursor, they'll be down around here, just entering that wind squeeze. And then the next 24 hours, they'll be down around here off the very tip of Madagascar. Okay, so a bit of breeze. It's going to go a little bit light. If we push this through, I'm going to come back a little bit smaller there. And we push it through for the 24 hours, so quickly bang. You can see the breeze is pretty solid there. But nice sailing, nothing to worry about, although we haven't looked at the currents yet. And then it starts to build on the southwestern corner of Madagascar, and then they'll sail into that. So by day 2, which is here, that's 48 hours into it. They've got 25 to 30 knots in that big yellow bit, and what's driving it? This is the issue, and it's fantastic to see because they're set up really well for the approach to Durban, or certainly to get across the paddock there, without looking at the currents because of this big high. Very powerful high. There's a lot of wind on the coast of South Africa. That'd be a good time to ride that along the coast if they were there now, but they're not. So now we've caught up to where the screen had frozen. Okay, so we're going to have a look at, I can't go that big. Yes, I can. I can go that big. And before, well, we'll just push that through and see what's going to happen over the next number of days. So that's 2 days in. We'll go through to 3 days. There's still plenty of breeze. So there's 3 days. Nice sailing. The wind's all from the right direction. They're heading down southwest away from the tip of Madagascar, probably aiming for Richards Bay when we look at the currents. You can see down on the coast of South Africa, the wind's already swung. So within that heavy northerly breeze, now you've got the sou'wester or southerly coming up the coast again. So that probably didn't last very long. And keep going through to the next day. Lack of wind, so they're going to slow. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 days out. There's not much wind there. So there's day 4. Very light headwinds, so that'll frustrate a few of them, picking up to about 15 knots. So whether they'll sail that on one leg to the west, or whether they'll go south, they're probably going to roll through it, and then it starts to swing. So at that point, they would be on port tack. So that's day 1, 2, 3, 4, day 4. So it's going to be a frustrating day that day, and there might be some thunderstorms. No, it'll clear when it goes to the south, so it could get a bit squally, but then they've got a good day or so of good stuff. Then it's going to go light, but pleasant sailing. So that's the 4th, light again, pleasant sailing. There's no real headwinds. Right through to the 5th, it's going to be drifting. They're going to go slow. That's where you get all the squalls and thunderstorms. So that's by the 5th. So that's 5, 6, 7 days at the end of the week. They're going to get some messy stuff. And how far will have they travelled? Okay, so they're going to do 100 miles. They're not going to make 700 miles. That's for sure. They're not going to. No, they're going to be in the thick of that. They're going to be, I reckon, in a week. They're going to be down here because there's a couple of slow days, and then there's some headwinds coming. But we'll have a look before we go to the next level. We'll just check the currents and see what they're trying to dodge. Oh, the currents are going to kick them in the rear. That's pretty solid. Those with Starlink and following what's going on, when they hit this one here, coming down, they'll probably ride that a bit. And in fact, you can just about keep going on that. Anyway, this is a huge boost, and that's quite long. If that sticks around, oh, hang on a sec. That's what timeline did we get there? Yeah, that's about when they're going to be there. So they will have been. In fact, this current doesn't act until later, so it's only a couple of days away. You only get a couple of day forecast on the current. But just to give you an idea, if they meet the current about there and they're headed to Richards Bay, there's 320 miles there. So even if they're sailing at 100 mile a day and they're going to be drifting, that'll be at least 3 days, and that's at least they're going to get 20 miles out of that every day. So that'll push them. No, more than that. They'll get 40 miles maybe. That's going to be running at a couple of knots. If it runs at 2 knots, then they're going to be getting 48 miles, nearly 50 miles in a day. Just over here, that really intense one, that's running at 3 knots. There's bloody 36 miles. No, 3. That's 72 miles. It's nearly 100 miles in a day. So, boy, they'll be riding this for sure. That's going to be an interesting story to see what happens there. So they've got good currents, and then if they lead down to Richards Bay, which is here, they'll come in on this one and maybe ride it down there. It just depends what the wind's doing. And then they're set to come down the coast, either in the Gulf Stream or just outside of it in this calm along no current down there. That's where they could hide if they got headwind, short tacking. You could actually try and hide in there. But after that, boy, you can see what's going on. So we'll get rid of the currents, get rid of that one, come back here, put the wind back in. So that was through to the 5th. Come back so we can follow it. Is that right? Yeah, 4th, 5th. Okay, so then here it comes. So they're going to be right on the edge of that. They'll get a northerly coming through, a light northerly, because that current will give them an extra day for free. And then they've got some southerlies coming, only for a day, and then it's tweaking around again. That's just absolutely perfect. If this holds true, then that messy bit with this sort of, it's got a little bit of, it's still a southerly, but they'll be able to hold that on port tack and just keep coming in towards Richards Bay. So even, this is as good as it gets, quite literally, if this forecast holds. And then they've got a reasonable breeze, but then there's a northerly coming. Look at that. Cheapers. Doesn't get much better. Cheapers. I hope it holds true. Anyway, while we're here, let's have a look at the leaderboard and see what it says, just for fun. Renault. He's got 1,830 miles to go to Cape Town. and he sailed 502 miles so far. Daniel's sailed 494. Christian sailed 470. Jacob 468. So we can come back on this leaderboard now, and it'll actually hold reasonably accurately. Where's Kerry? Kerry's down at number 10 right now, second to last. Sorry, Kerry. And Peeler's last. But there's a reason for both of them. Okay, so that's pretty much all I can tell you at the moment. But yes, that forecast, if that holds, fingers crossed, touch wood, touch wood. I'll come back here now, and I will, if you lose audio, I'm going to show you these pictures and tell you the story about what's the afterlife of a 580. Comes back to this shot. There's something different about that. That's Tracker, but there's two people on board, and that's Marion and Clifford Kane sailing around the world, two up. That's what I was mentioning before on Tracker. So Tracker had a great afterlife. There she is there, and once John had finished with it, he sold her, and the couple then took it around the world. I hope we don't stall on that photo. Anyway, there they are, two up around the world. You could do that. I was mentioning that you could do it in a 580, no problem if you wanted to. The volume inside the boat is bigger than Trekker was. We have a two-handed transat, but we're not going to do a two-handed around the world. The MGR is always solo. So Trekker had a great afterlife, as did John, the late John Guswell. Passed away just recently, just before the start of the MGR, and he went on to have an illustrious sailing career. He's giving a lecture here about his various voyages on the chart. Did a lot of other Trans-Pacific races in lightweight, another timber boat he built. I remember reading about that at the time. He had another hydrovane on the back of that, and so all kind of fun. Anyway, I digress a little bit. We'll come back here. Hopefully you're still seeing me. I'm going to read you the entrant reports. We've got a few people came back. That's good. Sorry for the others that didn't show. Okay, where do we go here? Oh, John's on his way again. He sent a little photo. I said, give us a report every couple of days. Going down to Australia from Vanuatu. And entrant reports, here we go. So yesterday we had... hang on. I read you Argos. I read you Bibi. And Kerry was the next one. So Kerry, late update from Sunday. No battery power. Late exit from Port Louis, waiting for customs to return my spear gun. Cheapers, they took spear guns. That's unusual. There you go. Okay. Usually they just take firearms, but not spear guns. Cheapers. Too many in the Good Ideas Club. Too many in the Good Ideas Club. So I missed update number 68. What is wrong with 69 that we usually use? I'm not sure what that's about. Anyway, soon caught the leaders as I was flying an A3, but then soaked too deep. Maybe sailed too deep. I have been blind ever since with weather or tracker. So you can't see the tracker, you can't see the windy or anything like that because his power was down. He since sailing though, nice sailing though, and sail repairs. I don't know how many competitors have declared using new sails, but it is hard to see my mainsail making it all the way to Antigua. There is a steady stream of merchant traffic, so to dodge at night. Okay, to the best of my knowledge at the moment, there's some new sails on board, but they've been sealed. We've got to go through those declarations, but Josh has got a new mainsail, the one that he bought off of Jasmine, and there's Jasmine got some new sails, but she hasn't declared yet which one she's using or if she just sealed them up. And then there's new sails coming into Durban for three of the boats. And so we'll wait and see what happens there. So that was Kerry. Then Entrant. Trekker had an unusual morning. This is today. A7 had to come into the cockpit. A strong nylon rope that keeps the entire length boom bottom and side of the sail left its mooring, so entire length was stitched. It's now back up. Okay, that was on the A7. Okay, so that's the luff rope he's talking about. From distance does not look dreadful. From a distance it does not look dreadful, though the sailmaker will almost certainly disagree. Apart from that, last night the Tiller Pilot extension split in the middle, so for an hour we went north. Okay, take it together. Simrad is doing well. That's it. Okay, so I've missed any other questions that were on the last one. I hadn't seen them. When I'm actually on the tracker, I don't see. I don't actually see the comments. That's why I wasn't seeing everyone saying, "Ah, it's not working, not working, not working." But anyway, there you go. Journey of Shark, yes, looking good now. Thanks. G'day, John. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that sort of stuff. G'day, Christine from Johannesburg. You're there already. Wow, that's cool. Roberto, yes, now it works good. Thanks for the comeback. No problem. We're back. Journey of Shark. Tomorrow, 30 knots on the beam reach. Challenging. 30 knots on a beam reach tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow late in the day. Gusting 30, I'd say it's 25, 28, gusting 30 maybe. Let's wait and see. A bit higher maybe. G'day, Peter, the pilot. Okay, plane pilot or boat pilot? I'm a frustrated plane pilot. Christine, channel 68 was used in Port Louis instead of 69. Ah, that's what Kerry was referring to. Oh, I don't know what happened there. You must have changed the plan. That's probably why, because it's meant to be 69. But maybe the port didn't like that. I'm not sure. Anyway, a bit of a balls up there. So, okay, thanks for that, everybody. We will be up hopefully. Can't guarantee it because I don't know when I get there, but we won't be in the morning because we'll be fluffing around off the ferry and all that stuff. And then I'll try to get something up in the afternoon, see what the weather is. Thanks a lot. See you later. Oh, I've got to do that one in case you forget the course.